diving back into Miles McPherson's book, The Third Option. And in it, here he writes, the insatiable desire to assume power for one's own benefit at the expense of others affects everyone equally, whites, blacks, Asians, and Latinos alike. This desire is rooted in a false understanding of the world as a zero-sum game where everything I get has to be taken from you so that your loss is my gain. And, part of that, we talked about yesterday, where the fear comes from is that if, we get afraid when we think that if somebody gets a little more than us, that we can't gain that their gain is our loss. And that's just really powerful, because that's, and here he goes on, and he explains it better than I can. This misguided belief that you have to take from another in order to gain for yourself stems from a humanistic view of the world. It's one in which a distant and aloof God with limited resources can't and won't provide for you. So, this can also lead to fear, being afraid and taking it out on others. And oftentimes we see that across racial lines. But you can also see it, in socioeconomic levels too. And he goes on to say, if we do not acknowledge the grace of God in our lives, we will never appreciate God as a source of our blessings. So, it's important to remember that, God is the source of our blessings, and it's not a zero-sum game, and you don't have to be afraid that somebody's gonna take something from you. And and we don't have to be afraid to honor and value others, that we can be united, because we have more in common than we have our differences. And so many times that's what the enemy uses to divide us, a humanistic view of the world where it's a zero-sum game. And it comes in America especially because we had slavery, and so he perpetuates this, you can't get ahead because others took from you in the past. And so it's just a lie of the enemy that we have to rebuke. And then on the other hand, he goes to say, if you view your blessings as entitlements, you'll foster a sense of superiority over those that don't have them. And then so that's the other side of it, that if you have stuff, others are less than you, so you can put them down. You don't have to value them. And, it just goes to things that I've been talking about here recently through his book, that, those that are usually, weaker and viewed as less important, the women and the children, and, and just different groups throughout the world have been dehumanized because they weren't valued, and they they were enslaved or killed or treated very harshly. And so that's why he talks about, Martin Luther King Jr. talks about honoring and valuing who people are, and not just seeing them as an obstacle, and you have to get ahead, put them down to get ahead, and any of that. And in the Bible, God talks about, you are blessed to be a blessing, and we must not forget, when I just read here a minute ago that God is the source of our blessings, that yes, we work hard, but he that He blesses us, and that's where our blessings come from, because He blesses us so that we can bless others. And we are, and here Miles McPherson says, how are you leveraging what you have to bless your neighbor? See, we are blessed to be a blessing, and Miles McPherson saying, we are to leverage our blessings to bless our neighbor. We're not to look down on them. We are to honor them, and it comes back to something that I keep saying, and it's something I'm personally really trying to work on too, because I'm definitely not perfect, but to look at everybody through the eyes of Jesus and not through my eyes, and so I just encourage you with that today. Once again, to just look through others through the eyes of Jesus, the value and the honor that He places on them.
Thanks for watching and listening. It would mean so much to me if you hit the like or subscribe button on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Rumble, YouTube, or like the Facebook page.